You're listening to Systemic Error Podcast. The failure was designed.
Trump gets warning he's triggered unplanned crisis, and it could destabilize the world. By Ewan Gleadow. A pitch from Donald Trump to present himself as the strongman of the Middle East could destabilize the world, a political analyst has warned. Though the U.S. joined Israel with a series of strikes on Iran, longer-term changes in the Middle East could prove troublesome for other world leaders not involved in the conflict. CNN analysts Stephen Collinson, Kylie Atwood, and Tal Shalev suggest the strong-arming Trump has used to pull the U.S. into war with the Middle East could affect the wider world, irrespective of success. The trio wrote relentless U.S. and Israeli air attacks in a military playbook that feels far more planned out than the political one, stand a strong chance of neutering Tehran's power to threaten its neighbors. This would benefit the wider Middle East, bill Trump as a regional strongman, deliver Israel from an existential threat, and improve U.S. national security after a near 50-year feud with the Islamic Republic. But without full regime change, Iranians might still pay a heavy price if crackdowns rather than counter-revolution follow. And if Trump's war shatters the Iranian state and sparks civil war, a refugee crisis, or grave economic consequence could destabilize the world. Further trouble for European nations could be brewing too, according to Julian Barnes-Dacey, Program Director for the Middle East at the European Council on Foreign Relations, who believes most countries do not know what to do about the ongoing situation. They are globally now responding to the daily whims of a U.S. president who is causing immense disruption, Barnes-Dacey said. They are caught between a rock and a hard place. On the one hand, they want to cling onto some sense of international law or the rules-based order, and then on the other hand, they are desperately trying to keep themselves in Trump's good books. Some nations now find themselves on the opposing end of what Trump wants and may incur the wrath of the president. Sophia Gaston, a senior research fellow at the Center for Statecraft and National Security in the Department of War Studies at King's College London, believes Trump wants a demonstration of loyalty from the UK. She said, the more a country like Britain invests in its sovereign strength, prosperity, and capability, the more attractive it also then becomes for the United States as a partner, but also the more it can defend its own interests against the turbulence of such an alliance.
Our analysis: Trump's Middle Eastern gambit, a dance on the razor's edge. In an political Donald Trump has recapitulated the strongman of the Middle East, a move that has served apprehension and skepticism among political analysts. The assertions made by CNN's Stephen Collinson, Kylie Atwood, and Tal Shalev paint a picture of a strategy fraught with peril, not just for the United States, but for the global stage at large. The illusion of strength. Trump's maneuvering into a position of power through relentless U.S. and Israeli air attacks on Iran is a classic example of might over diplomacy. The analysts argue that this military aggression, seemingly more orchestrated than its political counterpart, could ostensibly clip Tehran's wings, presenting Trump as a regional strawman. This narrative, however, glosses over the inherent volatility of such actions. By reducing complex international relations to a simple calculus of power, the strategy risks not only the stability of the Middle East, but also the delicate balance of global peace. The notion that such aggression could benefit the wider Middle East is a dangerous oversimplification. The reality is that military actions have consequences far beyond their immediate tactical gains. The price of hubris. The analysis touches on a critical point: the potential for an outcome where Iranians suffer under crackdowns and the specter of a civil war looms large. This is not mere speculation, but a tangible risk associated with dismantling a state apparatus without a clear plan for what follows. The potential for a refugee crisis and economic fallout cannot be overstated. These are not just regional problems but global crises in the making. European anxiety. Julian Barnes-Dacey's insights highlight the ripple effects of Trump's unilateralism. European nations find themselves in a quagmire, navigating between upholding international law and appeasing the capricious whims of a U.S. president hell-bent on disruption. This precarious position underscores the broader implications of Trump's Middle Eastern policy. It's not just about the immediate conflict zone, but about the principles governing international relations. Sophia Gaston's comments on the UK's predicament further illustrate the broader geopolitical chess game at play. The demand for loyalty from allies like Britain in exchange for security and prosperity is emblematic of a transactional approach to international relations that undermines the very idea of sovereign equality among nations. Conclusion: a dangerous game. The portrayal of Trump's actions in the Middle East as a calculated strategy to bolster his image as a strongman is a myopic view that fails to account for the intricate web of consequences that such actions entail. It's a high-stakes game with global implications, where the risks far outweigh the potential rewards. In essence, the strong-arming tactics employed by Trump not only jeopardize the fragile peace in the Middle East, but also threaten to unravel the threads of international cooperation. The world is left to grapple with the fallout of a policy driven more by ego than by a coherent strategy for lasting peace and stability. The ultimate price of such hubris, as history teaches us, is seldom worth the fleeting glory it promises. You've been listening to Systemic Error. Thanks to Raw Story for today's article with the automated voices of Amy and Ryan. Thanks for listening.